Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit it.
The boxing world is in shock after Gervonta Tank. Davis unleashed new training footage that has completely redefined what dominance looks like. The undefeated powerhouse appears sharper, bulkier, and more explosive than ever before. Moving with the speed of a lightweight but carrying the raw power of a middleweight, fans are calling this the scariest version of Davis they've ever seen. His punches sound like thunder, his intensity unmatched, and his focus deadly calm. Davis, who has built his empire on highlight reel knockouts and cold confidence, has always looked dangerous. But this time, he looks inhuman. In past camps, his focus was on finesse, rhythm, and reaction. Now, everything about him screams destruction, from his thicker frame to the violent precision behind every swing. Jake Paul isn't just facing a boxer anymore. He's facing a machine molded by years of controlled chaos. Former heavyweight Eddie Chambers has sent Jake Paul a chilling warning. Never underestimate the smaller man. He acknowledged Jake's size and strength advantage, but made one thing clear. Davis's timing, speed, and finishing power make him one of the deadliest pound-for-pound fighters alive. If you're not a monster yourself, Chambers said, Tank will make you look like a rookie. His words echoed through the boxing community, reminding everyone that size doesn't guarantee survival. The real question isn't whether Jake is bigger, it's whether he can withstand even one clean shot from Gervonta Davis. Because Chambers believes once that happens, it's over.
What you mean? How would you get embarrassed?
As far as like me not doing my job, feel me? Like I'm not worrying about nobody else because I know skill for skill, none of these guys can mess with me. Nobody. I feel like my skills is way better than like Floyd. Like if I'm on my game, well, I take that probably hand in hand. But skill wise, nobody on TV that's fighting right now have more skills than me. Nobody. Like talking about top to bottom list of fighters that's fighting on TV.
So what that got to do with you being, I guess, embarrassing? Like, because again, we see you make posts on story like the fight not happening. Like,
Cause I don't never want to like me not doing my job like all the way, like me not training all the way, me not, you know. So that's what made me like. So I was supposed to been in camp, you know, and I wasn't in camp. So it was me like, all right,
okay.
It pissed me off so bad that I was like, all right, I don't even want to fight no more.
Seeing Davis, meanwhile, is sending out messages that feel less like confidence and more like warnings. In an interview, he said he could take down a 300-pound man with zero fighting experience, and he wasn't joking. If he doesn't know how to fight, Tank said, I can handle him. Skill beats size every time. To him, boxing isn't about muscles. It's about timing, precision, and intelligence. A massive opponent may have the weight, but Davis has the weapon, lightning reflexes, and knockout instincts that strike before you can blink. He's not fighting for attention. He's fighting to remind the world that technique, not size, rules the ring.
That something like this can happen, but this is social media. This is what is created. There's a lane that Jake Paul has created. Honestly, I'm not mad at him for it. He's gotten a lot of fighters and, you know, actual fighters some shine. It also has done for women's boxing a lot. So I'm not mad at him for what he's been in boxing and what he's created. This is a little crazy right here. This is a little crazy. And a lot of people will say, Tank is too small. Let me tell you something. Anybody that gets in the ring with Tank that is not a damn dinosaur is going to feel something from him. And it ain't going to be easy to hit him. Got boxing IQ. He may not sound like an intellectual guy when you hear him talk, but he knows the ring inside and out. So there's nothing that Jake Paul can do aside from make it extremely ugly by grabbing him and probably trying to throw him to the ground. I don't know what else, bite him. I don't know, but I mean, the skill level alone. Now, of course, there is a size difference, a height difference and all that, but he's just going to struggle so much landing a shot. You know, it's just going to look bad. To me, this is the way I see it. It's going to look bad. Tank is going to be too fast. And the punch, I believe, I'm not saying it's going to knock him out or, but he's going to feel.
Still not everyone's convinced. Critics argue that no matter how powerful Davis looks, he's giving up too much in height, reach, and sheer body mass. At just 5'5", Tank will be facing a man nearly 30 pounds heavier on fight night. Some believe the physics simply don't add up, that Jake's 190-pound frame can absorb punishment that would cripple smaller fighters. To them, Davis may be stronger than ever, but strength alone might not rewrite the laws of size and range. Yet those who truly know Tank's styles say this isn't about numbers. It's about what happens when precision meets pressure.
What do you think is the minimum weight of someone that could beat you in a fight?
Minimum weight?
Yeah, like someone's like 250.
Yeah, probably like 250, 220 or some shit like that.
With no experience?
Yes, sir.
Someone with no experience?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hell no. They gotta have experience to beat me.
No, but like a 300 guy, no experience.
No, I'm whooping that ass. I'm whooping that ass.
The internet can't help but compare this showdown to the legendary Floyd Mayweather versus Logan. Paul bowed. Another clash of brains versus brawn. Just like Mayweather, Davis brings skill, experience, and icy calmness to the ring, while Jake relies on raw power and aggression. In that earlier fight, Logan's massive frame kept him standing. But Mayweather's accuracy dictated every second of the match. The same story may repeat here, except this time, Davis isn't just aiming to outbox Jake Paul. He's aiming to break him.
All of a sudden, we want to know, who will win in this fight? Jake Paul or Tank Davis? It's a legit question. And I actually want to really hear your thoughts on who do you think is going to win? Because I know what Vegas is saying, but I want to know what you think. You got...
Personally, I think Tank too little, bro.
Yo.
I think Tank too little.
I'm so glad you have a brain on your fucking shoulder.
I think Tank too little.
I said, bro.
I think Tank's too little. That's what I'm saying. That weight class is for a reason.
Davis
that weight class is for a reason.
5'5", 135 pounds. Jake Paul is 6 feet, 205 pounds.
That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
He's too
6'1",
little.
205. Everybody's like, yeah, bro, but Tank it only takes one good punch. Yes, it takes one good punch when you're about the same size. There's a 60, 70-pound difference in weight in these people. I don't think nobody puts the physics in mind. Jake Paul gets punched in the face by dudes 200 pounds with all their might on a weekly basis. A 135-pound puncher, bro. If y'all remember the Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight, Conor walks around like 180 on the regular. He's like 5'9", 180. Mayweather's like 5'7", 145. That 30-pound, 20, 30-pound difference, bro, if you remember that fight, Mayweather was putting mittens on Conor. Guess what happened to Conor? He didn't hit the ground once.
No.
He lasted all 12 rounds getting hit with flurries. I'm talking about Mayweather was having his time. He's being cocky with it, hitting him with all kind of combos. And we're watching the last 3 rounds of that shit like, yo, knock him out. And you know what? He could not knock him out because Conor gets punched by people that are 170, 180 pounds on a regular. And just that 20, 30-pound difference, it was like impossible for him to do anything. And that's exactly what I feel like is going to happen versus Jake and Tank.
Boxing analyst Aid Oladipo believes this fight might be happening too soon for both men. Unlike Mayweather and Logan, who fought past their prime, Davis and Paul are both in their physical peak. Oladipo warns that the spotlight could distract them from what truly matters, building real legacies in their divisions. He calls this fight a spectacle first, statement second, suggesting it could be an unnecessary detour instead of a defining moment. But in today's viral age, maybe spectacle is the new legacy. Either way, both fighters are risking more than records, they're risking reputation.
Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but
Jake has better
Paul
boxing.
now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean,
Gervonta
it's
is
just,
fucking sick.
I mean, yeah. No, but dude,
Did
Jake.
you ever watch his highlights?
Jake can
He's
crack,
nasty,
man.
bro.
He's so sick.
He's
I love
nasty.
that guy, bro.
At the press conference, Jake Paul made sure his message was heard loud and clear. He spoke confidently about his height, reach, and physical dominance, calling them his biggest weapons against Tank's aggressive, close-range style. He promised to exploit every gap, every mistake. But unlike his usual bravado, Jake also showed a glimpse of realism, admitting that beating Davis won't automatically make him an elite boxer. Instead, he framed this as another milestone in his journey, a test to prove that he can hang with world-class fighters. The mix of humility and confidence had fans questioning if this was a smarter strategic Jake Paul emerging.
Whether you agree with it or not, Gervonta is considered the #1 lightweight in the world. And it's a division that includes Shakur Stevenson, a lot of young guns coming up. I'm not any more sure if it's going to include Keyshawn Davis, but it's a hot division. He's considered #1 in that division. Like, that's why I kind of find this a bit, don't know. Like, there are challenges out there for Gervonta. There are big money fights out there for Gervonta. We want to see Gervonta in those fights. Again, I don't know how many fights people want to see AJ in, just to make the AJ Jake Paul comparison. One, as far as I'm concerned, that was Tyson Fury. I don't really have any interest in seeing an AJ in any other more fights. Whereas Gervonta Davis, I wanted and still do want to see him in so many more fights. So, yeah, it's kind of weird. These exhibition things are, like, really and truly, they should all be when your career's done. Like, when you think of Floyd versus Logan Paul, it's done, right? Floyd versus Conor. Did he have one more after? Was that it? I can't even remember. But it was right at the end. It was done. Right at the end. Even if it wasn't. Right at the end. These guys having these exhibition fights in between what is the peak of their career is kind of weird for me. Very, very weird. And then it isn't even comparable to Ngannou Fury, because at least these guys were the same size. Like, Jake Paul is a 215, 220 pound guy. I don't know what he walks around at. Gervonta fights at 135. I'm guessing he walks around about 155.
But then came the fire. Jake Paul threw gasoline on the rivalry by boldly claiming that if he met Davis in the streets, he'd shake him upside down. He dismissed Tank's knockout record and said flatly, "He's too small to scare me." The quote spread across social media like wildfire, igniting chaos between fan bases. Davis, however, stayed silent, his focus locked in the gym, his every punch sounding like a war drum. Jake's confidence may be sky high, but Tank's silence feels louder. With both men refusing to back down, this isn't just another boxing match, it's a collision of pride, power, and perception. And when that first bell rings, only one truth will survive: hype or heritage.
I would say a lot of things, but I think first and foremost is going to just be my reach, my size, being able to keep him away. I think there's a lot of holes in his defense that a lot of people haven't exposed before, and he's a great fighter, one of the best. I'm excited. He's elevating me to a new height. He's making me push myself to my limits. I'm more locked in than ever, but at the end of the day, I know I'm going to be able to come out on top and outbox the guy who's been doing it for 7 times as long as me.
Jake just said that Tank has been boxing for 7 times as long as Jake has been boxing. They started out this press conference by saying Jake started boxing 5 years ago. So 7 times 5 is 35. Tank is what, 30?